Right, 6 April 2024. And I'm just laughing because the first comment from my brother, MS, is that this is a fake story. But I'll prove to you all that this is actually a true story. And unfortunately, uh, it seems like I'm going after Scott for no reason. But there is a big reason why I am going after Scott Sakupwanya. Scott needs to address the situation with the death of Pastor Messiah. So this is the reason why I'm very focused on everything that Scott is doing at the death of Pastor Messiah in the Mavuku constituency during the campaign. It makes Scott someone of great interest to me until this is addressed, and I hope that the police will take this very, very seriously. But let's get started. We've got a lot to cover. I try to cover at least 20 stories every day for you. And I know that a lot of you are enjoying the coverage that I'm giving here because we're getting thousands and thousands of views on these stories on a daily basis. So let's start with the main story that we're covering here. So there has been 9 bodies that were exhumed in Penhalonga this week. And these bodies were exhumed at Scott Sakupwanya's mine in Penhalonga. There is mining which was taking place, and they had to stop after they hit bodies. And they found a lot of bodies over there. And initially, people had said that these bodies were old. They were coming from the 1940s. There was a mining collapse during that time. But it turns out that that's actually not true. So let me unpack what has happened here. So there is a number of bodies, and these bodies are old. Obviously, they are old bodies that were taken out, but they are new bodies, human bodies. Some people charge their phones when they go underground, and a young man has described that there are certain phones that have not been collected, which means that people went underneath and they did not surface. So to prove that this is not bodies from the long ago, you can see that if someone has a phone, they can't have been from the 1960s. So let me show you the picture of the current exhumation. This is the exhumation. So Mkoma, you're saying I'm lying. I'm not lying. There is the exhumation, and this is coming from the Manica Post of this week. So Manica Post comes every Friday. The young doctor there is the one who was conducting the exhumations, and these bodies have been buried at Tsvingwe cemetry. That is what it says here. And the chief in the area, Chief Mutasa, was present during this exhumation. So this is a real thing. And the mine involved here is called Zim Gold. It's a consortium between Anna Scott and also the Mnangagwa family, and all these people who are politically connected are involved in this company. And I want to show you what was said about 3 years ago about these bodies. These are not new bodies. There are a lot of bodies in this area because there is poor mining practices taking place here. So I want to show you what this young man said about 3 years ago about the bodies. So let's listen to what he said.
Saka pari zvinhu mascavitas ambomiswa kuti vanomboshandisa manyuwa kuti vaone kuti vangapinda matunnels here vachisecha matunnels kuti scavita ichakwanisa kuti ikwanise kupinda kuti ikwanise kutsva ivhu riri mukati mematunnels. Saka vanhu vakapinda vakaongorora vakaona kuti mukati makamira sei, vanokwanisa kuti vaone kuti chii chakanyatsojaitika mukati. Uyezve kune mamwe matunnels ekuti kana vanhu vachinge vapedza scavita ichatanga futi kuvhura another side kuti vanhu vaone kwanisa kuongorora kuti hakusiriwo kune vanhu here. Nyangwe ipapo zvikaramba pakashayika vanhu. Mune dzimwe nzvimbo dziri kufungidzwa zvekare kuti vanhu vangave varimo, nokuti kune vanhu vane mafoni avo, mabhegi avo ari mune dzimwe nzvimbo dzave vachidya mafoni asi rani vari dzavayazotora. Saka tirongoti dai zvichinzi tagona vanhu vakwanisa kutibatsira pakushanda kwatiri kuita, nokuti vanhu vanenge vachishanda pachikafu chiri kuvanetsa, chokudya chiri kuvanetsa, nokuti basa guru harisi basa rekuti asi rekuti basa tingagona kurirerutsa asi basa rakatooma.
Right, so I'm not going to play the whole video here. If you go online, you'll find this story. Illegal miners buried in Penhalonga. You'll find this particular story. There is a lot of bodies that are buried in these mines. So what happens is people go under and they get trapped, and then they're not picked up. The bodies are not picked up. But because they're not people who are registered, they just leave the bodies over there. And then these people, the miners themselves, have to take out the bodies. So this is what is happening. But I'm showing you here 9 bodies that have been exhumed. And this is got proof. This was done this week. This is not the old story of 2 years ago. So on top of the poor mining practices, there's also a lot of bodies in that area. So I don't know who's going to be able to go over there. There's someone who must be responsible, obviously, to go and investigate to see how many bodies are over there and then take them out. And as I said in Mkoma's MS, these bodies from 2020 are fresh. And we still have the phones of the people who have gone under, who have not surfaced. So I agree that there are also bodies from the 1940s. There is a general trend in that area that when people go under and they get trapped, then people don't pick up those bodies. So let us agree, and it's true, right, that this story exists, and the Zim Gold Company is connected to all the politicians that I've mentioned here, Anna Scott, and all the other consortiums that are operating that area. That area is where all the gold is coming from, where these guys in politics, they've run away from the areas in Mashonaland, the areas in the Midlands. They've gone to that area in Penhalonga because it's easier. I understand that it's easier to get gold there. And because it's fenced, there's no competition from other artisanal miners. So that is what I meant to say. They are protecting themselves. They are doing mining there, and they are doing it in an unsafe way, resulting in all these bodies that are being discovered right now. Now, let's quickly go through the rest of the stories. For a lot of stories, General Chwenga was in Bulawayo, where he attended the Catholic Church. So you can go and check out that story. I'm sure they're going to publish it today. I saw some video yesterday of him. So he's a Catholic. He attended that church service. I do not know which particular church he attended, but that was in Bulawayo. Then we have another story here in Nkulumane, Bulawayo. Police have raided, or fake police have raided money changers, and they went away with a lot of money. You can see that story on social media. Then we have Sengezo Tshabangu is featuring today in some newspapers. This is the first time I'm seeing this picture. Sengezo Tshabangu, Kucaca Phulu, and I think the last guy there is called Collet Ndlovu. They were at Pupu. So they're looking very, very happy. Sengezo Tshabangu, ever since he became a senator, he's not visible at all. I have not seen him talking, but I know that Sengezo watches here, so he's actually watching right now as we speak. So if you want to greet him, we can say, hi, Sengezo. It's been a disaster what Sengezo Tshabangu has done. He's destroyed opposition politics in Zimbabwe. And what is coming, which I'm going to unpack to you over the next few weeks, is the destruction of the constitutional democracy as you know it in Zimbabwe. The new type and the new order that is coming is very, very different from what you know. ZEC has published the polling stations for Mount Pleasant and Harare East. You can go and see this on the website of ZEC. I'll also try to upload this on Gambakwe, but it's not looking very clear, so I'm very unhappy with the quality of the picture. Then in Manicaland, there's been a fight, a big fight. And unfortunately, this is not the actual fight. So there has been a fight between the Chiwadza Diamonds, share community, share ownership trust. ZANU-PF is involved. The ZANU-PF MP, Marange, is fighting with members of the community over $1.2 million that has been given as a dividend to the community of Marange. And so ZANU-PF is on one side, and the CEO of the Chiadzwa Share Ownership Community Scheme is on the other side with another Marange. So they're having massive fight there over the money, and this money is probably going to be abused. That is what people are afraid of, that this money is going to be abused and there's not going to be any successful outcome. What these guys have done is that from the 1.2 million, the CEO has drilled 100 boreholes. And so the community of Chiadzwa now has boreholes, but the guys from ZANU-PF, they now want to take over So the CEO is called Hardwork Mukwada. He is the CEO. They have now taken over the bank account of the Chiadza Share Ownership Community Scheme. So this guys from ZANU-PF, and the money came from what we call Zimbabwe Consolidation Diamond Mine. So is Diamond Company. And on the other side is Solomon Marange and the Newman Chiadzwa. These are the people who are involved in this whole deal. ZANU-PF on one side, and then people from the community on the other side. Then on the same issue of the community and land, Binaliad, I showed you Binaliad, the ZANU-PF chairman. He has been sentenced to 4 months in jail for allocating land illegally to ZANU-PF members. And they have suspended that sentence, but they fined them $400. So 5 people were convicted here, and they're being called land barons, but I think they were actually working for ZANU-PF. And they've been sentenced to 4 months in jail. However, they've been suspended. They were made to pay $400, and they were told not to step at Gimboki. There's a place called Gimboki, which is with massive numbers of ZANU-PF supporters who are being thrown out. They've been thrown out after the elections. The ZANU-PF supporters are being thrown out. Then a man in Mutare, or in Headlands, killed his son by mistake. He shot him dead, thinking that it was a baboon. So they were chasing baboons, and then he shot his son. That is Mr. Isaac Nyakurewa, 81 years old, shot his son dead, innocent Nyakurewa, 46 years old, by mistake, thinking that it was a baboon. I think handling of firearms is a problem in Zimbabwe. A similar thing happened in Manicaland again. A Chwenga man, David Gede, was shot dead by a gun that was lying on the back seat of a car. So he was a passenger in a car. The gun was lying next to him. As he was leaving the car, I think he touched the gun. It discharged, and he was shot on the leg, and he died. The actual owner of the gun is in jail right now. Silas Kapau is in court and has been remanded to 16 April. Then we've got another story here. Let's quickly look at other stories. Madzibaba Ishmael, there's massive number of bodies being discovered. So yesterday, a mother came out and said she wants her daughter to be exhumed. So this young lady here, if you look at her, her daughter, 14 years old, was pregnant, and she says she wants to find out where the daughter was buried. Her husband was also killed at this shrine. He was thrown out from a moving truck. So she has lost 2 people in this same shrine. A daughter, 14 years old and pregnant, and her husband, who was thrown out of a moving truck during an altercation in Nyabira. So that is what's happening with these 2. And then in terms of this story I was showing you here, the guy on the right there is a pastor. He owns a church, and his church is called the Johane, the 5th of Africa International Church. He's called Andibika Makururu. He's donated $3,000 to the boxing champion in Rusape. So the minister is actually handing over the money, and the minister of devolution is called Mishek Mugadza. So you can check out this guy, very humble guy, standing there, and the minister taking all the glory. It looks very funny when I looked at this picture. And then in terms of obviously what's happening with the Reserve Bank, I want to appreciate the new governor for one thing. So guys, I don't want to say something bad about the governor, right? For the past 9 months, you've seen me here saying the RBZ website has not been updated. In the 1 week that the governor was there, has been at the Reserve Bank. Yesterday, I told you that the website was down in the morning. They've successfully managed to update the website for the first time in a year. So if you go to rbz.co.zw, you are going to see that the website has now been updated. That's what a central bank is supposed to do. You're supposed to provide information to the market. And the only way you do so is through your website, through your YouTube and Twitter, social media, and so forth. But Mangunja, aitofunga kuti tiri kumutuka kana tichiti Mangunja agadzira website rako. So the RBZ, the culture there is so bad that when you tell them anything, they think you're insulting them. It's the same with the government of Mnangagwa. If you tell the government of Mnangagwa to fix something, they think you're attacking them. So for the first time, the RBZ website is up. So if you go rbz.co.zw now, you'll be shocked. It's now showing 2024 data instead of 2023 data. So please go to that website. Much appreciated. I want to wake up and look at information about the Zimbabwe currency, about the Zimbabwe financial services from the actual source. And there we have it. For the first time, the website has been updated. So to me, it's good riddance to Mangunjika. Mangunjika was very stubborn, and he believed Kuti he's got a right to be incompetent. That is the problem with Mangunjika. It's like ED. They believe Kuti have a right, you're incompetent. If you tell them anything, they take it very personally and they don't change anything. So the new governor has done one thing right, which is to fix the website of the RBZ. Now let's go to Africa News. The South African military has denied that their soldier has surrendered in the DRC. So that's SADC. And SADC has also issued a statement. The South African military has also issued a statement that statement is false. That article is false. That two South African soldiers have surrendered to the rebels. And then the protector, the public protector of South Africa, she's called Advocate Koleka Galeka. She is being accused of being incompetent and carrying out a shoddy investigation of President Cyril Ramaphosa. She did not request for his tax records. She did not request for his emails. She did not request for his WhatsApp messages during her investigation, resulting in him being acquitted. And this is something that has been taken to court or to a body for investigation. So she's now under investigation. And then let's see if I've got another story here. In entertainment, we've got this young lady here. She's called African Wine. She is featured in the Newsday newspaper. You can go and look at entertainment. I've never listened to her music. I know the guy on the left is always fighting with the Wingy D and losing. So that is the only thing that is there right now. So the big story, big story, that is the finding of those bodies at Scott Sakupwanya's mine. It's not only Scott, there's a lot of politically connected people in Penhalonga right now who are mining there. And they're mining at that mine using artisanal miners. Those artisanal miners are dying and the bodies are just remaining underground. So 9 bodies were exhumed on Friday. In fact, last week, I don't know which exact day, I think it was Thursday. And as I showed you here, there are more bodies because people have put their phones on the chargers and they've not returned to pick them up. And the young man there was describing what's happening in Penhalonga. Let me see if I've left anything else. Let's see here. It seems like I've covered everything that I wanted to cover today. And I'm very happy that everything is covered. I will try to make this bigger. We want to make this media house bigger. Our media is going to play a very critical role going forward because Zimbabwe we're undergoing a massive change. And one of the biggest problems we have in Zimbabwe is lack of information on top of lack of money. So let me look at Chamisa if it's tweeted. I apologize that I haven't looked at Chamisa. There's a lot happening in the Blue Movement. Chibaya is going to be traveling today. So he's going to be traveling to Masvingo. That's my understanding. And I don't know who else is going to be there. They're going to be setting up some clusters over there. So that is what is happening today. Amos Chibaya is going over there. I don't know whether it's going in CCC, and I don't know if other people are going to be involved. But what I know is that Chibaya is going to be over there in Masvingo today or tomorrow, one of those days. So let's watch also the Twitter by Ostalos. Ostalos, let's see, Ostalos, Mpana, and a PhD. Ostalos has not tweeted, as far as I can see here. He's only looking at the SADC RTGS, the strongest currency in Zimbabwe. That is the tweet here. And Promise Mkwananzi, let's see what Promise Mkwananzi has said. So my guys, they check these things every day and they update us. So Promise Mkwananzi is saying it's not money, not any different from fake money. fake counterfeit money. That's true. Promise Mkwananzi. Maria Gadziro no komana. Ichadona like a rock. You know the way when you drop a rock, that's how it's gonna drop. Marie ina support wane the correct. Have you ever seen a house without a foundation? That is how Maria Mshayavan is. And Mshayavan, he must be different because Zimbabwe has got so many qualified and experienced people in economics, in banking. Vanhu vanofana kudzingwa, my deputy governor ese ngadzingwe. They are corrupt. They are part of the problems. My head of department ese ngadzingwe. Vanhu vese vari audit, security, risk management, surveillance. You must clean house if you want the RBZ to work. The whole system is a mess. The whole system at the RBZ is a mess. And then Karatapedza, Mnangagwa anofanira kuita dialogue with Chamisa. Togadzira nyika yedu, we become people vane dignity. At the moment, we lack dignity as people because vakomana ava vari kutadza vana ED nevanhu vese paRBZ. Mangunja, I'm sure kuti aitoenda kana netruck yecash kumba kwake. You remember what Gono used to say? Kuti vaitombodzi isai kana kuti cash muchibakage. You know, they'll be asked to carry loads of cash and it will go to you know where. In the black market, it sinks in a deep dark hole. This must end. If Mshayavan wants to build his legacy, the RBZ is the right place to do it. But I don't think without the political changes, you'll be able to do it. Then Mkoma Gilbert is saying 3.4 zig is equal to $1. And Mkoma MS has verified the story of Scott in Manika Post. If you see Chinu Chakanyo wants Zim Gold, you must know what Chinu Chana Scott, Nana Mnangagwa. And these guys, they must do the right thing. Emma must do the right thing. Environmental Management Agency and all the people who supervise mining, they must do the right thing. They must mine, but they must follow the law. And they must do so like everyone else. And then Mkoma Buju be saying there's nothing from the 1949s, there are bodies from Scott. Yes, Chakotara's video, the young man has explained, there are phones there of people who have left and they didn't come back. And then my Johnny Music is saying, Anglali is Zimbabwe, that's for sure. You don't live in Zimbabwe, you need to go back home, Mkoma. If you live in South Africa, you'll find out that after you finish your let's say your 10 years or 20 years, I've been here for almost 20 years. You will still have nothing the same way you came to South Africa. So when I came to South Africa, things were different and things keep getting worse. By the time you leave this country, you go back to Zimbabwe, you're actually the one who is worse off than the guys who are in Zimbabwe. So we need to make sure that everyone goes back to Zimbabwe. We don't have all these things that all over the world. And I hope that is sorted. And then Mkoma Julius is saying, you are a bogus economist, economic analyst, Gambako Media. Yes, I am a bogus economic analyst because I'm not an economic analyst. I am what you call a master of business leadership. So kuti ukanditreta panzvimbo pasina chinhu unosvika pane chinhu. If you find me, the type of businesses I've started, I cannot go hungry. That is what the secret that I want to tell young people. Do not be an employee only. So being an employee is fine, but do not be an employee only. My job is to find ways of creating value and getting money out of it. But tichasvika kuZimbabwe, zvinhu zvabo vana Mnangagwa varova pasi. Tichakugadzirai my business ideas nema business models anopisa, not izvi zviripo zvokuti nyika inoita sekuti uri paJuru growth point kana uri muHarare. That is the failure yana Mnangagwa. Everything that he touches is left incomplete. That is the problem that we have. And arikutadza kuita dialogue, which is essential for the country to survive. So Mnangagwa, the biggest challenge ya Mnangagwa since the 2018 election is to fail to do a genuine dialogue. Even Namonzora, Mnangagwa akaramba kuita kupa Namonzora a position, a leader of the opposition. Mnangagwa can only shape power even with the people near him, he prefers to give power to his family members, which is fake. So munari fake or bogus, ndiye the ED, not me. Ndiye anofanira kugadzirisa. And muchaona zviri kuitika paRBZ. PaRBZ ndo pane problem muZimbabwe. Because if your money is not working, no matter what you try, it will not work. It's like that neighbor of yours who is always asking for salt. Have you ever seen that neighbor? Kuti even gonna pay day chayashika. They knock at your door and say, "Can I have some salt? Can I have some sugar?" That is Zimbabwe right now. Zimbabwe is rich; they've got all the money, but they cannot make it work because of the political problems that they have there. And to make matters worse, havana mari vanhu vacho, havana ED, they're not rich. They should be billionaires right now. But if you see kuti vachiri kutsvaga mabasa mugovernment, they're still giving each other work in government jobs. A government job is the most irritating job you can ever work because you have to follow protocol. And you know what it means. It means good you must be wherever you're supposed to be. When you're there, you can't stop, you can't talk, you can't stand up, you can't do anything. So what is happening in Nana ED is avakwanisi kumeka mari. They cannot make money and they're making everyone suffer. That is the problem in Nana ED. Varikutadza and varikuuraya vanhu nenzara. Mnangagwa arikuuraya vanhu nenzara because of the problem. Right, let me look at the last comment. Mkoma Givalo, ED arikuuraya vanhu nenzara. Yes, Mnangagwa has been a disaster in his current term, especially in these past 2 years. It's terrible what has happened. He has just let the situation go, and I don't know why. And then Mkoma was saying, "How old are you, Gambakwe?" I can assist you to be a better person, something in life. Yes, I am born in 1976. So you can calculate backwards. I think that makes me a 48-year-old or something like that. I think for 46 or 47. I think that is it. So thank you very much everyone for watching here. And I appreciate the guys who are sending money. So yesterday we got a bunch of people sending some money also. What we're planning to do here is, yes, Mkoma MS, I'm 47 years old. What we're trying to do is we're trying to raise $200,000 so that we can build our head office in Harare. But we still have a lot of money that we need to pay back, which is about $60,000, which came from the time when I was in hospital. So takaita chikwere che $60,000. Takaita kuti muone Gambakwe asaende uko kunyika dziri mberi. So I actually went, what happened is I was half dead that time. I went to almost the middle of death and life. And I've told you guys the story. I went there and I saw there were 3 figures in front of me, and above there were 2 figures. The 3 figures were communicating with the 2 figures, but not through words. And kana muchiona anambuya nehanda vaya vanenge vakapfeka zvinhu zvakadai. That is what I saw there. It was not, and ndandisiri kudenga guys. Andizvi ndaenda kopi uku kuside. Saka ndasvika ikoko, these guys said to me, everything has been resolved. I told you this story, but I think most of you, I not told you kuti ndakaona vanhu vakaita sei. Vanhu ava vakaita sana mbuya nehanda. You know the way mbuya nehanda dresses, they were like that, and they did not have their hands out, so you could not see their hands. And they were wearing those gray outfits. So I'm so sorry, guys. Instead of kudenga, so thank God I didn't die. But I really appreciate everyone. July says I was also born in 1976. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I really enjoy what we're doing here, and I hope that we'll be able to continue. Although it's quite a lot of work, but I hope that everything will be done here. We'll be able to cover this period. This is a transitional period where Mnangagwa's government is going to collapse within a very short space of time. Apa Mnangagwa aita mistakes, a big mistake. Mnangagwa yechikarenzi chinoiswa pasina kugadzirwa groundwork. So Mnangagwa is in trouble. His government is going to collapse within a very short space of time, and we'll be talking about it here. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.